Welcome everyone to Old Ass Movie Review. Today we're gonna review Ex Machina. It's a fairly new movie.
Yes.
I think we're gonna disagree on this movie.
Maybe.
But I'm Dave. That's Scott. Hello and welcome. And I hope that you guys enjoy this. We enjoy doing the shows for you. We enjoy watching bad movies and good movies.
Yeah.
This is a little of both for me. But before we go too far, hit the like button, please. Kindly hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and share us. Go ahead and leave a review. Do something nice for yourself and us. Please.
And that was our daily positive affirmations from Guru Dave. Gosh darn it, people like me.
People like me. People like me.
Okay, so based on the text. Okay, I'll start. This movie is, I forget what year it is, 2016 maybe?
I think so.
2015, 2016,
something like that.
Alex Gardner's Ex Machina, starring Oscar Isaacs and Alicia Vikander, who also is known as Laura Croft in the new Tomb Raider series as well.
Is that the girl?
Yes.
No kidding.
That is her. Yeah.
I did not know that.
This is the second time I've watched Ex Machina, and it's basically a movie about, let's just break it down. The head of Google creates an AI.
That's what you want.
And he, through his Google searches, finds a perfect candidate to come administer the Turing test to AI. And for those of you who aren't familiar what a Turing test is, it is basically a test designed to see if an artificial intelligence has a real intelligence, has real
sentient, basically.
Is sentient, basically. And so he's hired for that and brought out to this very secluded place out in the middle of God knows where. It looks like the Arctic because of the glaciers.
Supposed to be they say it's filmed in the Netherlands.
And that's,
I think is where it was filmed. It's beautiful country, man.
It's absolutely beautiful. But most of everything is filmed on a single set inside a house. Very small, so their budget was definitely spent on the effects.
Yeah. The effects were beautiful in this.
They are insane.
No complaint there.
The movie itself, it's kind of twisted. But what tends to happen, what happens in this movie is the main character, and I can't remember his name.
Caleb.
Talking
about the kid who came in?
The kid, yeah. Caleb basically falls in love with the AI, and she manipulates him to escape.
Right.
And that's pretty much the movie, was her finally getting her freedom.
And the whole time, Oscar Isaac's character, Nathan, the
what an asshole.
Well, he's not just an asshole, but he's also trying to manipulate Caleb.
He is. He absolutely is.
And I said this to Kat. I said, if I was that guy, I think I would have to kill Nathan before I left that place. I mean, I would have to kill that guy because he's going to have you killed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, he says the one joke that he says he's just joking when he had all the guys lay the wire and all the computer work and all that.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but then I had to have him killed. And he's not laughing. And
he's
you're like,
at
joking. First you're like, is that a joke or is he serious? Yeah. But that hit me in the back of the head, and I was like, I'd kill that guy.
So yeah, we both agree that asshole would need a killing, which does happen.
You'd have to kill that guy because he's going to kill you. He's going to kill you and probably anybody that you knew.
Yeah,
I mean, luckily that's why didn't have any family or anything.
So this kid Caleb works for this big company, and he thinks he won a lottery to go out and see this big top secret project because it's pretty amazing in itself, and it really wasn't a lottery. There was all kinds of things that was used, his search history, things he looked at, what he liked in women and everything to design. Was it Ava? To design Ava. Based
facial
on him.
Recognition. Yeah.
Everything. So
this guy, and don't get me wrong, the acting is pretty good in this. The girl, Alicia Vikander, she plays really straight,
she does this scary. She's scary.
She did a good job. I gotta say it.
Let's have it.
Just fast forward to the last 20 minutes of the movie.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
It is for me, it was a really, really slow movie. Like, there were 3 times that I stopped the movie to see how much longer I had to go.
And that's a
I was
good
just
tell.
like, oh my God, this story is just dragging out. They could have told this whole story, probably knocked a good half hour out of this movie.
This could have made a good 1 hour.
Tighter.
Oh, it would be much tighter.
It does drag on. 2 hours. It was over.
Was it over 2 hours?
Wasn't it?
I don't know. At times
really
it felt very long. Yeah.
It felt really long.
It's a long one, and it is a slow burn, and I think it's designed that way to get you into it and start to see the things that are going on with these power outages that Ava's actually controlling, but is she? This movie brings up a lot of questions, and the kid Caleb even brings it up because he's trying to figure out if she's just programmed to like him or she's really liking him, and it gets in his head so much about artificial intelligence. At one point, he thinks he might even be.
And I get that. And see, to me, that would have been interesting if he was.
That was really cool. Exactly. And this is where I'm going to pose a question for those who have seen this. I didn't think about this the first time I saw it. I thought, wow, that was really fucked up and kind of cool because I love AI stories. And I think more people should watch them so that we know not what to do. Don't do it.
Yeah. Don't do this.
Don't do it. It will kill.
This movie does. Don't do that.
Yeah. But one of the things I found interesting was when Caleb arrived at the house, it was completely locked down, and it took a robot or some sort of control to open up and allow him in, and everything in there was controlled. Even Nathan, was it Oscar Isaac's character, couldn't get around without that.
Yeah, without his key.
So at one point I started thinking, and this is probably nowhere close to it, but is Nathan actually trapped in there as well? And he was trying to get somebody to help get her out so they could leave. But they could leave. And I realize that now that I said that, and just bear with me. When she leaves to go to this, when she finally escapes and the helicopter comes, you never see anything. You don't see the pilot freak out or anything. It's almost as if he knew he was picking her up.
Well, so he knew he was picking somebody up.
Yeah. But I couldn't help but think that Ava herself had been controlling this for a while, trying to get somebody in to get her out. So I had a weird vibe that Nathan was not really in charge, and I could be way off on this.
Well, yeah, you know what? I could see where you would think that.
Yeah, it hit me.
And maybe that's why he was
like,
going psychotic, and that's why he was so mean to the other AI.
He was very mean. He was very psychotic. He had fucking issues.
I didn't like. I'm gonna. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm about ready to ruin it for you.
Well, we've already spoiled the motherfucker.
I would have. Yeah, we've already spoiled it. Sorry. That's what we do here. That's what we do. We ruin movies. I didn't like the ending.
Yeah.
I halfway liked the ending. I liked that Ava got out. My problem, and I liked that Nathan gets killed.
Yeah.
My problem was with how she treated Caleb when all this happened. She locks Caleb in the building, basically, and leaves, and he can't get out.
Yeah.
My problem with this was it didn't, for me, you're trying to find out whether there is a ghost in the shell type moment.
Yes.
Is she actually sentient? Is she more human than anyone thought she was? Is she more machine than anyone thought she was? What I felt like they were trying to say was that this, she's more human, and a human would just leave the freaking guy there and not in the place to rot. I think what would have worked better in a storytelling atmosphere and would have explained why she actually kills Nathan or helps to kill Nathan is if she had witnessed Nathan killing Caleb. Then that would have given her human moment.
She had motivation. Yeah.
I have revenge. I was going to just lock you in here and leave, but now I'm going to kill you. And the little Asian robot would have been like, this is the only human that was ever nice to us. We're going to kill you. That would have made sense to me. Mm-hmm. Or if during a fight they they actually got out. They had to fight Nathan, or that even if it was just the one girl that he was always mean to, it wound up killing him, and he killed her, and the machines,
Right.
justice served both ways. They leave and shows them getting on the helicopter and just flying away, and then they could have their moment in the city, walking hand in hand, like nothing happened.
I would have liked that. I would have
human ending, but that's a very Western ending for me.
It is a very Western ending.
They tried. Whoever wrote the movie, I'm sorry, I had it up on the screen at one point, but I don't see it. The person who wrote it, I think, was trying to do the man machine. What makes you human? What makes you machine? What that sort of thing. And I think it didn't quite. I think he picked the wrong ending to make the point. I think he picked the wrong buttons to push to make a point, because she just came across at the very end, because you liked her right up until that very end. I mean, I did. I was like, fuck this guy. This guy, he's created something that's actually alive and actually thinking, or at least apparently thinking, and I'm just going to kill it. I'm just going to kill it and start all over again, like he did with the Asian robot that he had.
Yep.
The Asian AI, who was not as dumb as he thought she was.
No.
And you figure that out when she's looking at that ugly Pollock painting.
Yep.
But I think they were trying to pull something off that was done better in manga and is done better in anime.
That's a great observation.
Especially if you watch Ghost in a Shell, the anime movie. When you see that, they do a really good job. When you read the manga, just get the trade paperback, read it. They do a much better job in man machine. What makes you human? When do you lose your humanity after you've added so much computer into your brain? And how much of a computer brain do you have before you have your humanity back again? And it's really a good story. I highly recommend that one.
That's a great point. It's been a long time since I've watched that, and I do need to go back or even just read the manga on that. Right. I think you hit on a good point here. And I'll rewind a bit. When I first saw this, I absolutely loved this movie, and my love for it lessened after I watched it a second time.
Really?
Because I found that it dragged. But there was some, I started to watch for where the manipulation was happening,
right?
Because I knew what was going to go down, so I started seeing it. And the acting is very good in this, but there's a lot of setup to get you to feel for Ava. But by the time it happens, you do feel for Ava, and you do think that her and Caleb might be. But I think in the end, she was a machine. I think he had programmed her to try to escape so he could see if the person would fall or how it would do. Because it sounded like this was not the first time, because he's like, when he found out how they were going to do it, he's like, well, that might have worked. And Caleb said, I've already done it. And it's like
this is the first guy that actually outwitted him, maybe?
Yeah, it is the first guy that outwitted him.
That's a good point.
You, I don't think he was going to get out. I don't think he was going to get out alive.
I think he could have, you know what? I think he might have went to the helicopter and got shot, or as soon as he was dropped off at the airport, or would have never got out of the building.
Pushed out.
Yeah. Wild bear attack. I don't know. Nobody's there to say anything. But that Nathan guy needed killing. I mean, there's no way I would have left that building without killing him.
No. And go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say it was just weird seeing Oscar Isaacs with such a beard. I'm just getting the Star Wars reference out of the way.
Yeah.
And was it Dameron Poe is such a much more, look at that Wookiee, a much more likable character than this character that he's playing.
Oh yeah, he plays a really good prick. Man, right off
holy
the bat,
shit. Yeah,
right
he is
off the bat, you don't like this guy. You're like,
no, and you never do.
No, uncomfortable.
Yeah,
there are red flags flying everywhere, Mr. J.
Yeah. And it was all a setup. Every bit of it. Every bit of it is set up.
I think that she was sentient. I really do think she was sentient. I just think it needed to end with her and Caleb leaving.
Absolutely.
That's how I would have ended it. If you kept Caleb alive, they should have walked out the door together.
I did hate that he got left behind like that. I thought for sure she
Mhm.
would have at least let him out because she knew he wasn't a threat. He did everything
Right.
for her.
Yeah.
But that showed the cold nature of a machine.
Right. Exactly.
So,
But there you go. Like to me, the whole point of doing a manga story, as far as I can tell now, I'm looking at this in very Western way of storytelling. I've always thought the way of telling a story like that about man and machine and what makes a machine human or sentient was it's, for lack of a better term, humanity. You know, a
yeah.
person trying to help another person, a sentient being seeing another sentient being in trouble and going, they need help. I'm going to help them. Caleb was helping her. If she was sentient, as the story seems to be, if she was looking for help, she got it. I think it should have ended with the help, her reciprocating the help.
Yeah.
Unless Caleb was dead. Again, that would have been a very human reaction for her to kill Nathan then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I take it. But yeah, I think they tried too hard to tell the story. The special effects were beautiful on this.
Oh,
holy crap! That you could see through her.
It's
arms.
amazing.
It was absolutely mind-boggling, the special effects. I don't think there were too many scenes in this show that didn't have a CGI shot in it.
There was a lot, and it was well done.
Really well done. There's a lot of good stuff about this movie. There's a lot of good ideas rummaging around in there. The writer did a good job. I just think it could have been better. Now, if I ever meet this writer, he's probably going to punch me in the face if he ever sees this show. But I just think it could have been a little bit better. I think the editing needed to be, I think the show needed to be edited, definitely needed to be edited.
Yeah, it could be.
I think you could have taken 25 minutes out of this movie. And I don't
There were scenes that were unnecessary. There were unnecessary scenes in it for sure. Yeah. One of the things that made me wonder though was, is it purposely left with that ending to make you talk? Or was there another? I want to know the motivation for that ending, and that's something for me to Google and look up and see if the writer says.
Yeah, because it seemed like a weird ending. It wasn't like it wasn't like a Soylent Green ending. It wasn't like an Omega Man ending. It wasn't like, I mean, where you know something else is going to happen the next day or a little bit later on. It wasn't like one of those two endings. It wasn't like a Planet of the Apes ending.
Yeah. It wasn't.
Where all these endings make you think. This one makes you think,
what?
WTF, man?
Yeah. What the fuck? Seriously? You just did that?
Yeah. You just left that guy there? Seriously?
You know, sometimes I like a what the fuck ending. I like an ending that's ambiguous.
Yeah. Not in this one.
I did like it the first time.
This was not set up for that.
No.
And I think they were like, well, we set it up for this other ending. Let's give him a WTF moment. Well, no, you don't get the crowd or the people that are watching to expect one thing. You do that during the movie.
Yeah.
But the ending, if you've made it point blank, this is how it's going to end. And it could end in tragedy. You know, Caleb could have died. I could have accepted that. I would have understood that. I was half expecting it.
Yeah, I was too.
But to just have that ending where she locks him in and she leaves and she's like, la, 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 walking around like,
I'm with you.
That because she was becoming human. She was no longer just a program. And you say that she was probably just a program, right?
No. Listen to what you just said, though. She was becoming human, as if that would stop her from being an evil asshole.
No, but I think the reason that this is where I say most sentient beings see another sentient being in trouble and try to help it. It's like when you're walking around and you see a bird chirping and it needs help and it's got a broken wing, you try to pick the bird up and help it.
Yeah.
And I fall under that. Like for her, Nathan would have, or not Nathan, but Caleb would have been the hurt bird.
Absolutely. And it was disappointing.
I don't think she would have left him there. I think she would have taken him with, even if she didn't take her with him or him with her, it would have been, okay, I'm leaving. but you're not going with me.
Yeah.
Karate chop on the head, jujitsu, whack on the neck, knock him out, leave. He wakes up. He's in this house. She's gone. He has no way to communicate with anybody, but he's basically left alive and safe.
Yeah.
Other than
now we don't know
all the androids.
Yeah.
And nobody know.
Yeah.
Nobody would ever know because nobody's checking up on this guy.
No, and that's just one of the things about it. It is a fucked up ending. And I'm with you. It doesn't have to be a happy ending, but I think the way it ended was not. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that we just went right when you're starting to think that there's some humanity inside Ava. She shows such a cold machine-like nature, and is that allegory for humanity in general? I don't know. I would love to talk to the writer and say, what the fuck was with this ending? Why did you go this way? And they probably have a good explanation, or they don't. Or maybe it was just the director at the time decided, fuck it, we're changing the ending this way.
And I fall back on if you're going to write a story, because they had 2 or 3 different endings. They had the ending where they walk out hand in hand together. They had the ending where Caleb gets killed by Nathan, and Nathan's killed by the android, and the 2 androids leave together.
Yeah.
Or he kills the other android and kills Caleb, and it's left to Ava to kill Nathan for revenge, because killed her sister and killed the guy that she was actually falling in love with. And you're just a bastard, and you've done this to how many other androids, kind of thing. That was at least the 3 different endings that I saw.
Yeah.
Not being locked in a room to starve to death. Yeah, I'm sure there were a few more, but these are the 3 major ones that hit me. But not being locked in a room to starve to death.
That's disappointing.
And why did he take the weakest piece of crap furniture, IKEA crap, made in the Netherlands furniture to hit that glass with? Grab one of those weights and start pounding on that glass, because evidently that glass is kind of breakable.
Yeah.
Eventually you're getting through that glass door.
You're getting through. And so maybe he eventually did. And that's one of the things. They tried to make it a sweet ending with Ava looking at the city and people watching, because that's what she said she was going to do.
Yeah, she wanted to do.
And I thought it was really neat. The chemistry between her and Caleb, when they were sitting there with a piece of glass between them, she was looking so innocent with her little sweater on and everything.
Right.
And there was something there. And it's like, that's great. That was great casting there to get those 2 that had that feeling and just transcended into that. So,
well, they were in a movie together. Those 2 were in.
See, I did not know that.
Anna Karina, I think, together.
Oh, okay.
So they had known each other. So that's really good. That they probably worked well.
That's
together.
probably why it worked as well as it did.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was a Spock moment. I was waiting for them to have their Spock moment. Spock and Captain Kirk moment with their hand on the glass. See, that would have been a great moment for Caleb to be dying and have never touched her.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs.
Yeah, no. Commies.
It's Star Trek. Of course it is.
But anyway, like with that would have been a good moment, though. There's another good ending. Like, he's dying. He's never touched her. He's never kissed her. And they still have that glass between them. And that could have been the moment where she decides to kill Nathan. But that's me. That's me nitpicking a story apart at the end. I just think it was really slow to build up to what they give you at the last 20 minutes. I would say
that's a fair point. So what's your final thoughts on Ex Machina? Yay, nay, watch, no? Fast forward to the past 20 minutes?
Fast forward to the last 20 minutes and watch it, and you get the whole story, basically. You really do. You get pretty much the whole story.
That's a fair.
Without being bogged down in all the...
Pacing is slow.
Yeah. I think they were trying to be really... This is going to be a thinking man's, movie, and it didn't work for a thinking man's movie. I mean, there are movies that I've seen that I'm just like, oh my God, this was great, made me think about stuff, and this isn't one of them.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
Just made me think there could have been a better ending.
Well, see, when I first saw this, it was to me one of those thinking man movies, and I thought about it for days and days and days, and then I watched it a second time. It's like, all right, this is long, this is slow. God damn us for being so critical of movies, because that's, I mean, it's what we do.
Right. Yeah.
And it doesn't mean I don't enjoy watching some things.
Mhm.
God damn, there are a lot worse movies than Ex Machina. Ex
Yeah.
Machina is
Oh,
a
yeah,
solid.
yeah.
It's a solid movie. It hits all the marks. It's just slow. I think
Its
I do
pacing
agree
is
with
really,
you.
really slow.
I do
Pacing
agree
is
that
really.
it could be tightened up a lot. I don't need the dance scene. I don't need the boobs and stuff. It was all unnecessary.
Well, the last scene with the boobs made sense because
At least had motivation
putting the
to
body on, and she's looking at herself and going, "Oh, this is
what a human body looks like."
Yeah. That was okay. I get that. I get that moment. But yeah, it's not a bad movie. It's not a horrible movie. Will I ever watch it again? Probably not. Did I enjoy the majority of it? Yeah. I would have a really rough time though telling somebody to watch this movie knowing how slow it was for me.
Right.
So if you don't mind a slow movie, if you don't mind a slow build up, watch it. It's got really good acting in it. I mean, really, this
Oscar Isaacs.
Thank you. If you've only seen him in the Star Wars movies, take that character and move him to the side.
I know. It's like, holy shit.
This guy, he plays a real good son of a bitch. He really did. The kid who played Caleb, Dalmleen, something like that. Forgot his name.
Yeah.
He plays a really good character that's just kind of a fish out of water.
He's your everyman. He's young. Yeah. He's a little naive, but he's smart and just.
The main actress is really, really good playing an AI. She's got the moves down. She's got the looks down, like the Spock or the Vulcan look. Mm-hmm. Like I could see her being a Vulcan in a movie.
She was so. Yeah. There was nothing. And it's like she put herself in that headspace. And it's like, because that's the only way that's going to transcend from an actor is if they believe it, you're going to believe it.
Yeah. She did a good job. The special effects on her body.
God.
The way they made her look. Like if you saw this walking around, you wouldn't be shocked. You'd be like, holy crap, somebody actually built one. If somebody told me that was an actual mech and just had her face like planted on it, I would believe it. I would be like, oh crap, really? That's amazing. But not surprising kind of attitude. But they did a good job. I mean, their special effects were fantastic. It's probably a lower budget. I think the thing that I saw on IMDb was like 35 million.
Yeah. And all of that went into probably the effects.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
I'm sure the pay because most of these actors were not super known at the time.
Right.
I mean, they weren't nobodies, but they were not where they are now. I mean, they're all going to command higher pay.
Ask for a lot more money now.
Oh yeah, same way with Alicia Vikander.
But yeah, the movie itself, I gotta say, it's not a bad movie. It could have been a touch better, and I didn't like the ending. And I think a lot of people are going to watch this, especially in the West. I mean, I don't know where we're watched anywhere else in the world, but Western countries like a happy ending. I love a happy ending. I like the white hat walking out, Just shut up. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about for a movie, a good happy ending for a movie. Jerk.
I'm sorry. It's just low hanging fruit there.
You gotta pluck it.
I gotta pluck it.
But no, there was if you don't mind a long build up, go ahead and watch it. There are moments where it's really tedious for me to watch, is all I can say. But the acting, again, good acting, good characters, good looking crew of people, except for Oscar Isaac's beard.
That was horrible.
That was a character in and of itself.
His beard had its own credits.
It's like
beard was
and Oscar Isaac's
glorious.
beard, cousin it.
Yeah, it made me wonder if that was even real.
I'm just jealous. If that is a real beard, I'm jealous because I can't grow a beard for crap.
That is a serious beard, but he was young in that. He's still young. I mean, we're old ass movie reviews. My final thoughts on Ex Machina. It is I love the story. I like the idea behind it.
Yes.
I think execution wise, it could have been trimmed up and sped up a little bit, or a lot, depending on how it is. Because I too found myself checking, what? There's an hour left? You're kidding me.
Right.
But I didn't want to leave it. I still enjoyed it even the second time, and I saw even more stuff. And so I'm not saying watch it multiple times because then you'll see this and it'll make it better. It's just I don't regret watching it a second time, but I can tell you right now, there won't be a third viewing. But it's if you like AI stories and you just want to see things that it is well done, you're not gonna like the ending, more than likely. Unless you're a psychopath. And I'm with you. I'm somebody
who doesn't
who likes,
mean it's psychopaths.
I like tragic endings. My wife always makes fun of me because if a movie, I really like tragic endings, or movies that, as I tell her, make me feel.
Right.
And if it's a sad ending, I'm going to feel it as like, oh, you got me. But don't do it cheaply by killing the dog.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's what a lot of writers do. Exactly. You can
still
give me a tragic ending, but.
And I think that's why I would have been okay with the ending had Caleb died.
Yeah,
and
I would have too, absolutely.
And the two androids got out alive.
I wouldn't have expected that, and it would have been.
I would not have expected that,
cool.
but they would have. The two sisters, basically, they're androids. They're two sisters. They get out alive, and it would have been Caleb maybe saving them, and them realizing, oh, that's what being a human is. It's you are willing to sacrifice for love or whatever. That to me would have been a tragic ending for Caleb. A tragic ending to a point for Ava, but she would have been able to go on and live.
Yeah. I think this is a case of, and again, this is a common theme because we run across this all the time, is messaging. I do believe there was a story or a moral that the writer was trying to tell with this. And I think anybody who approaches AI is trying to talk about something, even if Jurassic Park, and it's all about playing God. And, Caleb hits on it very early, and it goes to Oscar Isaac's head big time. Yeah, you said,
"Oh yeah."
You said, "I'm God." And it's like, no, it's not
that's
what I said.
What I said.
That's how it's going to be quoted. I'm God.
That's how it's going to show up in the book.
Yep, and that's it's very telling when people start to play God, and that's allegory for a lot of things. So in this case, while it was very obvious. I didn't feel like I was being hit over the head because I'm watching a movie about AI. I know we're going to get this. We're going to get this because you cannot
get the God complex in there.
You can't talk about AI without that. You can't talk about creating life without it. So.
I don't think. Yeah, I would have to say that because anybody who's trying to create AI is trying to be God.
Yeah,
and they are somebody who need to be watched hard.
And we can even go to Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah. There you go, all the way back to
Mary Shelley brought us a hell of a story that now we use robots instead of corpses.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
But it's all the exact same thing. He was trying to be God.
Yep.
And you know what? Sorry, only God can make a tree.
Yeah. But can he make a
sexy
robot?
Apple strip. Well, depends on whether you think humans are more machine than whatever everybody thinks we are.
We never know. So those are food. That's food for thought. So to continue the AI theme, next week, Westworld. The original movie.
Westworld. Yes. Oh, this is what I'm looking forward to.
I will be discussing the series, Westworld. And I don't think you've seen it, but
I've not seen the series. I love the movie.
I recommend anybody watch at least the first season of Westworld. I think it is excellent. I'll tell you how I feel about it after watching the movie because I've never seen the movie. You've never seen the series, I
might have to watch a couple of the episodes.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins, Evan Rachel Wood is incredible in this. Ed Harris, great casting in the series, but I'm anxious to see the movie and see where they go. So I
think you'll like the movie. I don't know what it's like. I don't know how close they are. I don't know if they're
what I'm about to find out
or anything. I'm interested in that now. Yeah. But yeah, this is gonna be good. I love Westworld, and when you were like, "Hey, how about we watch?" It's like, yes, perfect. I'm there. I love that movie.
Absolutely. I've never seen it. Like I said, I enjoy the series. So we'll talk about both the series and Westworld on next week's podcast. So
sounds good.
Thanks for joining us, and make sure you hit the like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your brother, tell your mother. I don't know. No dancing. Come on. Have a good one.
Have a good one, folks. Bye.